If you told 18-year-old James you're going to be talking about the Kardashians on your channel, I would have told you, you guys are crazy. But guess what? That's what we're doing today. We're talking about the Kardashians' new series on Hulu today. This is going to be fun. What's going on, everyone? James here with another real review, and today we're getting into the Kardashians that streams on Hulu April 14th. Now that's episode 1. Episode 2 releases the week after, and every single week after that for 10 episodes, you guys are getting a new episode of the Kardashians. But a huge thank you to Hulu for giving me the chance to watch episodes 1 and 2 early for review. Now this is the first time that the Kardashian family actually is back on TV after their show Keeping Up with the Kardashians ended in 2020, and the series really is going to mainly focus on Kourtney, Kim, Khloe, Kendall, Kylie, and Kris, and of course there'll be some guest appearances by Travis Barker, Kanye, and Scott Disick. Now I am a fan of reality TV, but guys, I'll tell you, I've never watched a full episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I've seen clips here and there, but there's some stuff we have to talk about. Now guys, before we get into my review and all my thoughts about episodes 1 and 2, if it is your first time here at the channel, welcome to Real James, where I love talking about TV and movies just like this all the time. So if you do too, go ahead and hit the big red button below, subscribe to the channel, tap on the bell, and hit the thumbs up button if you are a fan of the Kardashians and if you are a fan of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And let me know down below in the comments what you guys thought of episodes 1 and 2 when you see them, because like I said, there are some things here for fans new and old that I think they'll love. Alrighty guys, so let's get into episode 1, which is titled Burn Them All to the Effing Ground. And I don't mean F for forgive. I've said that joke before. Now, both of these episodes actually are about 48 minutes long, so it's not that long compared to most streaming television series, but apparently it is longer than your traditional Keeping Up with the Kardashians episode. So it does open us up with this intro. It's like sweeping shots, clearly overproduced, of the family. They introduce all the main players, but I will be honest, the intro was a little cheesy. The good thing is they use Silk Sonic's 777, which is a pretty catchy song, but basically this all prepares us for the opening scene, which is a barbecue at Kim Kardashian's house. And slowly but surely, this episode sort of catches us up with their lives. Now you have Kim studying for the bar exam, Kris is in full business mode / mom / grandma mode because everybody's got a baby in this family apparently. And then you have Kylie showing up with her baby bump, expecting her second child if I'm not mistaken. So there's a lot to really dive into in this first episode. And then what made me pull a double take was the fact that Tristan Thompson showed up with Khloe Kardashian, and well, if you guys know about their story, it's not been the best of times for them. It's just interesting to see their dynamic now when they do dive more into their relationship in a way at the end of this episode. And what I've noticed is that the producers are really playing up the Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker relationship. They're boyfriend and girlfriend right now, but y'all, they are acting like they are married. I mean, the PDA is everywhere, guys. I mean, they're hugging, they're kissing, they're touching up on one another. So it was really funny to see the reaction of the family actually when they both arrived to the barbecue. You can tell that they're madly in love, which is great, and that's so sweet. But yes, of course, PDA can sometimes make others feel uncomfortable. And speaking of relationships and former marriages, Kim and Kanye are still going through their divorce at the time of this episode. So if you've been keeping up with pop culture, you understand that Kim and Kanye are divorced. They're legally single, they're separated, and Kim really tried her hardest with Kanye, and you know, things didn't work out. As you can tell, the whole Pete Davidson thing is like a third cog in that wheel. They haven't addressed that in this episode, but I'm sure we'll maybe get that later on in the series. Now, fans of Keeping Up with the Kardashians are probably wondering, where is Scott Disick? Well, he does get a spotlight here, and it was weird. The way that Scott was flirting with Khloe was just not normal behavior. He even mentions that they should shut off all the cameras and go upstairs, and I'm like, dude, stop this. You were once married to Khloe's sister, Kourtney, and you have kids with her, and you're doing this and saying this. It's not normal behavior. It was very odd. But this is where the episode for me kind of hits a wall. It just sort of stops and the pacing got a little slow, and I was losing a little bit of interest. But the producers know how to reel you back in, because right after that we did get a sweet moment between Travis Barker and his daughter, or Kourtney's daughter, excuse me, where they were playing drums together. It was just so beautiful to see, and you can tell that there's a nice little synergy there between both of them and their kids. Now, the main conflict in this episode, and where a lot of the buzz is probably going to come from, is Kim Kardashian versus the internet. And what I mean by that is because a cloud is being hung above her head. Her son actually brought this iPad to her and was playing Roblox, and apparently she found out that unfortunately there's more footage from her tape with Ray J. You know what I mean, you know what I mean. And sadly, this is something that is lingering and continuing to linger, and then eventually Ray J's manager says that he does have more unreleased footage. It is just so messy, and it's not right. It doesn't sit well with me, of course, but Kim is dealing with this. She's now dealing with having to get prepped for Saturday Night Live and getting her jokes together for her monologue. So it is probably going to be the one thing that most fans are going to be engaged with the most in episode 1. But all the drama aside, there were some funny moments here. Actually, some that caught me off guard, where Khloe was talking about this bodysuit with Kim at lunch, and the conversation was a little, expressive, very graphic to a degree. Yeah. It made me laugh, but I just didn't expect any of it. Maybe I was laughing because I was so shocked. So while episode 1 really was just more of a setup episode for the rest of the season, episode 2, which is titled Did Somebody Tape That?, dives more into the storylines that episode 1 presented. But you're not getting as much Kim Kardashian here, at least in the first half. It's mainly Khloe and Kris and some more of the family, so there's a bit more exploration of the family itself. I just don't necessarily think episode 2 was as strong as episode 1. While it does get more interesting at the end, especially with the tease of Travis Barker planning on proposing to Kourtney, a lot of episode 2 is just not as entertaining. The main moments here are Kim Kardashian going and meeting with Amy Schumer to go and work on her Saturday Night Live monologue. Even then, I'm not the biggest fan of Amy Schumer's comedy, but the thing is, in this moment, it wasn't that anything upset me, it just really wasn't as engaging. There was just them talking, going through jokes that you can tell are not as ready. Everything, yes, is still being reviewed and modified, but it just wasn't as sharp as episode 1 was to me. And Khloe herself has a lot of moments with one of her friends, Malika, and it is not the worst thing in the world just to see her essentially kind of build that confidence, because she is dealing with a lot of anxiety and a lot of outside forces, especially with her preparing for the Late Late Show with James Corden. Again, not much of a James Corden fan, but still. So we get a lot of those more grounded, down-to-earth conversations between both her and her friend, but they linger on that quite a bit in episode 2, but I think it's because they're not throwing everything at us just yet. They're giving us time to sit with some of the sisters until we get to episode 3, which is more so about the Saturday Night Live monologue and probably a lot more. But I did learn some things about the family that I didn't know before episode 2, like Khloe and Kris building homes next to one another, but on the more, I would say, emotional beat, we do get this conversation between Kris and Kourtney, where Kourtney expresses that she is struggling with getting pregnant, and she is talking about kids with Travis, and they're looking at homes together. It's moving fast, y'all. But of course, this episode ends with Travis telling the family he plans on proposing to Kourtney, and of course, the tease to Kim going on Saturday Night Live, and I wonder if we do see Kanye West in that episode as well. So overall, you guys, between both episodes, I think that there's enough here for fans to actually love what they're getting. There's a lot more, I would say, vulgarity, things that are allowed to fly, things that aren't censored as much compared to when Keeping Up with the Kardashians was on E, but here on Hulu, they have more freedom, and I'd imagine more creative freedom as well. So we do get the curtains kind of peeled back on the family, and there is a more intimate look. However, I'm almost wondering when we do get Kendall, Kylie, and I'd imagine that comes later on in this season, but we just don't get many moments with them in episodes 1 and 2. However, I will say that someone who's not a, I don't want to say not a fan, but who wasn't a fan because I didn't watch any of the show before, I'm at least interested in the Kardashians, guys. Most of what I loved about this season so far is found in episode 1, and some of what I didn't like so far is found in episode 2. It's a little like a give and take situation, but guys, there you have it. That's my real review of episodes 1 and 2 of the Kardashians, which starts streaming on Hulu April 14th. Now, again, if you like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, you'll probably like this. If you don't, you might find some elements that you enjoy if you're a reality TV show fan, so I recommend it if you are, but if you're not, I get it, this might not be your cup of tea. But guys, I gotta know what you think when you watch episodes 1 and 2, so go ahead and get loud down below in the comments. And if you haven't already, go ahead and smash that big red button below, subscribe to the channel, tap on the bell, and hit the thumbs up button again if you are a fan of reality TV and of the Kardashians. Guys, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you again to Hulu for giving me the first 2 episodes for review, and I am going to go and, oh boy, I guess get ready for episode 3. I wonder when I'll get that one. Alrighty, y'all. Again, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you at the next screening.